Well, hello, welcome back to another video. Now today I've come over to Liu Island to do a bit of fishing over the next sort of hour and a half to 2 hours. Now we've got a big enough tide today to be able to cross over the causeway and access Liu Island, but it isn't a very big tide at all. The low tide is about 2.5 metre. So I'm not going to get too long here. I've actually got an hour until low tide. I'll probably get about 45 minutes or so after that before I'll have to head back. Now it's an absolutely glorious day today, it really is. It's about 16-17 degrees at the moment. Now it's flat calm, there's a little bit of swell around here, but the whole island is completely flat today. I've already tried one spot this morning, but it's very unlikely that I'd catch a bass there. The water's crystal clear, and like I said, there's not a ripple in the sea, especially the other side of the island. So I'm out today to throw a few lures about and hopefully hook into a fish. I'm not exactly hopeful, but it's worth a go anyway, so we'll see what we can do. So I'm just going to wait for this swell to die down a bit and hopefully get onto there. So I'm fishing over very rough ground. Oh, there's a few boulders sticking out, and I know there's a reef right in front of me and one a bit further out as well. Well, I'm going to start with a shallow diving lure and just pray that it doesn't get snagged. Oh, there's a big wave coming. I'm just filming on the chest cam for the moment. There's not really a suitable place I can set up the other camera with that swell coming in. I'll just give it a few casts here and then I may go over the other side, give it a go there. There's quite a few people on Liu Island today. I think there's some sort of wildlife thing going on. Lots of people with cameras. I'm more interested in finding a fish myself. I'm probably just going to chuck a lure into here, see if there's anything about. But I do tend to find when it's this clear and settled, a lot of the times the bass will be that little bit further out, just out of your touching distance. This is why it can be good to have a really big tide, so you can access those low tide marks which you couldn't normally get to, fish certain reefs and gullies. But let's see what's around here. So a quick change of lure, and I've just moved my bag and the camera back a little bit. Getting the odd massive wave coming. But it looks as though it might be one of those days. I mean, there's obviously still time yet. The thing is, I'm not going to be able to get this lure out as far as I could get the diver out. But I should be able to just work it above all of that weed and all of those boulders. And it's a nice bright colour. So if there are any fish there, I'm sure enough they're going to see it and hopefully strike. Well, it's certainly a warm one today, and it's also certainly proven to be difficult work trying to find a bass. Now I've come round to a completely different side of the island now. I'm going to give it a go here. Just put on a weedless lure and I'm going to chuck that out. Now the tide's pretty much bang on low water. It's going to turn in the next sort of 20 minutes, half an hour. So I'm not actually going to get too long here. There's a gully behind me which will get cut off in a short while. And then sure enough, I'll have to head back over the causeway. But I'm going to throw out a weedless lure now. I do actually have a few Texas rigs with me. So if I can't find any bass over the next 10-15 minutes, I might quickly tie on a Texas rig and try for a wrasse. But I don't know if you can see very well. It's a stunning day today, really stunning day. It'd be absolutely perfect if you're out on a boat. But unfortunately, we're land-based today, trying to hunt some silver. So let's see if we can find any. So I've given up on the bass front and on we go with a Texas rig. I'm going to chuck this out and see if we can find a wrasse. Now I actually thought I'd get a few wrasse follows using that bright white weedless lure, but I've not even seen any of those. But if we get closer to the bottom, we might be able to entice a couple. That's the plan anyway. So this is just simple Texas rig, 20-pound fluorocarbon, little 2.0 weedless hook and a 9-gram bullet weight there. This is actually part of an Evo Bass Sabre which had broken, so I cut it down. It'd be ideal for the wrasse. So into the rough stuff. Let's hope we don't get snagged up. Loads of kelp down there. Boulders, there is patches of sand, but it is all pretty much just rough ground. Not going to get too long. It's a long way to come for a blank, that's for sure. I'm debating whether to try somewhere else. Oh, good wrasse. Feels like a good wrasse anyway. Oh, hello. That's not a bad size at all. He's gonna go again. Let's get over here. That's a nice size wrasse, that. Hammered me right near the bottom. There we are. Well, I've saved the blank, so at least that's one thing. What a beauty that is. Nailed that lure. Happy days. Well, there we go. That's a lovely wrasse, that. Probably about £2. He's absolutely nailed that lure. But what a beautiful fish. In the sun. Can't complain. Now that tide is definitely turned now. We're a good 40 minutes. Come on, there we go. After low water. But there we are, a lovely wrasse there. I'm going to put him back before he goes too crazy. But what a beauty. Right, so that gully behind me is starting to fill up now. I'm literally going to give it a few more casts and then I'm going to have to go. And when I say a few, I literally mean a few, because I'm pretty sure the causeway closes fairly soon. All I was doing for that one, I flicked the lure out, just gentle flick like that. Let it go right to the bottom. And that one was really deep, literally hit me on the deck. Had to wind in, lift it up. So I think in fact actually I'm going to just give it this cast and then I'm going to head back. I don't fancy being stuck on here for 12 hours. So obviously the bass fishing didn't go that well. Now it's just a bit of a shame that I literally only had about 10 casts for a wrasse. So it's a bit of a shame the tide's turning. I probably would have got a bit longer on there, but I just don't want to chance it. Like I said, it's not a massive tide today, so even when I was crossing the causeway, there's one side of it which on the bigger low tides, when you can get over, it's still over that shallow ground, which as soon as it turns and starts flooding in, you've got to be fairly quick to get back. So I think what I might do, since it's such an absolutely stunning day, is head down the coast and go somewhere else. I may try for a wrasse, and then I might also put the bass lures back on and see if we can pick one up later on in the day. So I'm going to get over now, get back to my car, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do next. So I've arrived at the next spot. Now I've driven down the coast and it is even more stunning down here than it was around Lou. Now we've got a flooding tide now, and I've just been stood in the shallows here looking at some bait fish right on the sand, and it's literally moving at walking pace, so it's going to come in pretty quickly. I'm going to head to the far side of this reef here and fish that for about half an hour or so. And then as the tide's flooding up, I'll probably go to the other side of the reef, fish into the next bay. Now I'm sticking with the Texas rig. I'm going to go all out wrasse attack now, I think. Pretty sure bass is going to be out the equation for now. Now unless I think I'll be in with a chance of a bass in a little while, I'll probably just stick to the wrasse for now. So we'll see if we can find some. I'm going to get to the end of this reef now. Hopefully get a bit of fishing in before those gullies get cut off. Now I actually came here a couple of weeks back and did some wrasse fishing. That video's already gone up, that's on my channel. But the fish seemed to turn on as the tide turned and it started to flood in. So hopefully today will be more of the same story. Now I'm going to get pushed back fairly quickly because it does come in really fast here. Well, it comes in fast everywhere, but it's very flat here. Even though this is deeper water, the bay's very flat, so it floods over this reef really quickly. But I'm just going to start by flicking it out fairly far. Let it sink to the bottom. Then we're just going to bounce it in. Now, it was only small wrasse I had last time I was here, and the last one was about 3.5 pounds. So that was a bit better. But on a stunning day like today, it's just good to be catching anything, to be out in the sun, enjoying it. That's what it's all about. The water is absolutely crystal clear. It really is beautiful. So that tide's flooding in nicely now, and I've come over to the other side of the reef. Now it's all shallow, rough ground here. Last time I was here, I actually hooked into and lost a monster wrasse. It wouldn't have surprised me at all if it was over £6. It was a big fish, and it hit me out of absolutely nowhere. Now the thing with here is there's a lot of boulders, and with it being shallow, when that fish hit me, it swam down and it just cut the braid on a rock straight away. So I'm going to give it a go here. Hopefully there's going to be some around. Let's see if we can get one. Well, that was definitely a wrasse. I thought I had a knock. There goes the end of that lure. I had a little tap from a small one in close, but that was flicked it out a bit further and it got hit again. It's a big wrasse. And I tell you what, there was another one, the same size, following it. That's a big fish, that. Whoa! That's a beauty. I think he's going to go again. Come here. Oh yes. Well, I tell you what, that was crazy, because as that fish came up, all right, calm down, there we go, that's a beast, that. And as that came up, there was another one, literally the exact same size, same color, everything, following it straight to the surface. What a beauty. Well, a change of spot has worked out an absolute treat, because this one is a nice wrasse. Look at that, beautiful colours on that, lovely greens going all the way through. What a beautiful fish that is. Absolutely inhaled that lure. Another fish the exact same size came up. As I got it to the surface, I saw it just swimming straight behind it. Now I'll get this one unhooked and get you a better show. Right then, what I'm going to do is just let this fish recover in this rock pool. He's gone straight down to the bottom there. But I'm just going to let him recover in here. Now that tide's flooding over all of this, so it's not going to be long until this fills up anyway. So I'll just give him a few minutes in there, and if I can get him out, I'll release him in the water. If not, he's going to go out when that tide comes in anyway. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. It's been an absolutely glorious afternoon. The sun's still beaming down. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon now. Now, I'm not going to lie, it's been tough work, that's for sure. It's a really calm day, so bass was probably out the equation earlier today. But as always, it's great fun targeting wrasse. They're a good species to go after when you're just looking for something to catch. They certainly put a bend in the rod. They put up a brilliant scrap as well. They're really good fighters. Now, the one I just had, I released into that rock pool. The rock pool was really deep, so I tried to get a bit of footage, but he was right down embedded in the weed. But it's flooding over nicely now, so he'll be out back into the open sea, no problem. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. I'm sorry it wasn't action packed. It's been a bit tough going lately. I've been trying to target other species as well and failing quite miserably. So that's the reason for the lack of videos, really. But we got a bass comp coming up, so I'll be out for that. I'm going to do 2 nights of that. So yeah, if all goes to plan, I might make a little video of that as well. But we'll just see. So anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.